Hi everybody, welcome to my next video. I just have some thoughts that I wanted to share with y'all tonight, and wanted to shoot some videos expressing my, opinions on some stuff. Here's something that, is a huge monster pet peeve of mine. It's, writing thank you notes or not. See, my parents raised me that, like if you give somebody a graduation present or a bridal shower present, a wedding present, a baby shower present, you need to sit down and write that person or people thank you notes. It's, the proper thing to do. And, like, I remember when I graduated from high school, my mom parked my butt at the kitchen table at the house and looked me right in the face and said, "You're going to write these thank you notes, and I don't care how long it takes, but you're going to do it." I did. I mean, people seemed very appreciative of the fact that I wrote thank you notes. And I want to use this person as an example, just because I love using this person as a whipping boy, and as a guy, for, like, bad manners. I have a cousin named Floyd. He got married a few years ago in Michigan, in Detroit, or just outside of Detroit, actually. Well, I live here in Kentucky, and to get from where I live here in Kentucky to where the wedding was up in Detroit, it took us, I'd say, about 6 hours, maybe. And with me and the people I rode with, that is. And what it is I can tell you what I actually got Floyd. I got him one of those nice 3-plate racks, appetizer like plate trays that you like see at like Fridays, TGI Fridays. And I got him a glass stick butter dish. It was about that big, stick butter dish. What it is I knew that I couldn't go to, like, Hallmark and come up with, some sturdy bag or box or something to stick it in. So I went to FedEx in a couple towns over from where I live, to buy the box, just because I knew FedEx would come up with a box, or UPS one. Well, the whole thing ended up costing me $3.17 out the door. Well, I had got up early because I was working second shift at, the time at my job. Well, what winds up happening is, okay, I get there and I get that all done, I wrap it up, and then, I went to work and worked my shift, which was 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. that Friday night. Floyd got married on a Saturday. That was the cousin's name. Well, I got the gift wrapped, and I warned the people that I was riding up there with that, I got Floyd this really, like, his gift was, like, funky shaped to where it was kind of big and kind of awkward. Well, and the worst part of it is, that Friday night, actually, I didn't get to bed till about, I'd say probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And then, I maybe got, it was 3 o'clock in the morning when I finally went to bed, because I had to pack. I hadn't had a chance to pack, because I had to get up and, like I said, early on Friday and go get the box and the wrapping paper and stuff. Then by the time I got done with that, it was pretty much time for me to get my butt to work. And what wound up happening is, I got up at, like, I'd say probably 5:30, 6 o'clock, something in that neighborhood. And I got ready, and, I left with the people I rode up there with, who were my parents. Well, if it wasn't bad enough, we got lost, and then this guy, and this isn't the guy I was referring to in those first 2 videos, by the way. He was at half an hour, 45 minutes late to get the stuff started for his wedding. It was annoying. And then, I'm hot and I'm tired. I mean, it's, like the hotter part of June. And, I was just like, and you're talking about somebody who had like no sleep or very little sleep to begin with and had been up since basically 10 o'clock the day before, and by the time, the wedding was over, I was ready to choke my cousin. I really was. And then on top of that, we went back to the town. Fortunately, where we were, the hotel we were staying at was like literally across the interstate from the reception hall. We got done with the reception at midnight, and we were back at the hotel at midnight. I'll tell you what, I was ready to fall over dead. I just know that when I went to bed in that hotel room, my head hit the pillow and I was out like a light. I didn't wake up until the alarm or the phone rang at 8 o'clock that morning, and it was, the wake-up call. And I'm like, I think I called the phone a bastard. I was like, you bastard, it's still, you know how that is when you're like half asleep. Well, anyway, went back home. Floyd never wrote me a thank you note. I mean, and considering that I drove all the way from here in Kentucky to up there in Detroit, got like no sleep, had this big awkward gift to give him, and yet the stupid boy him and his wife did not bother to write me a thank you note. You have to ask yourself what's wrong with that. I have another funny thank you note story here as well. Several years ago, back before I got married myself, there was this girl that I knew who, to be perfectly blunt, was a frickin' diva. I didn't like her. I've known her since I was little. Not like a real little kid, like 3 or 4, but a little older. I was a kid. I wasn't like a teenager. I've known her since before I was a teenager. And this girl, I mean, she was an absolute diva, and, like one of those queen bee type personalities. Of course, she also had to deal with me, and I was a queen bee personality too. Well, this girl got married, a few years before, even I got settled down. This was back in the late 90s. Well, what ended up happening is I sent a wedding card and a gift card to this girl through my mom, who knew the girl too. The funny thing is, this girl ended up writing me a thank you note after I made a comment about it. And it was funny. I mean, because like a few months later, after this girl got married, a good acquaintance of mine, who also knew this girl, got married. And both this queen bee personality and myself were at this other girl's bridal shower, and I deliberately said, well, at least I know one good thing. And I said, the other girl number 2, would write me a thank you note. And I said, unlike some people I know who couldn't write a thank you note to save their lives, and I said, that's one good thing about girl number 2. And, and I looked right at Miss Queen Bee, smiled as if to say, I know you didn't write me a thank you note, and just walked away. What was funny is, I'd say about a week or 2 later, in the mail, I got a thank you note from Miss Queen Bee. It was so funny. My mom, I remember this, looked at me and said, how'd you manage to get her to write you a thank you note? And I told Mom the story, and Mom's like, how? She's like, you are bad. I said, no, that's called being honest and telling her to her face, write me a thank you note. But anyway, like I said, it's just polite manners to, write thank you notes for stuff like bridal showers, baby showers, graduation presents, certain birthday presents, and weddings. So I'm going to pause here and, we'll talk about some other stuff, okay? Hang on.